Hi, welcome back to the channel. Today's look is going to be a spring makeup look, all about spring and how to think about transitioning your winter makeup looks into our spring makeup looks. Not quite yet summer, but spring, specifically springtime vibes. So I'm going to do a look for you guys today on camera, and as I'm doing it, I will just chat about my thoughts about what you want to leave in winter and what you want to curate and bring into springtime. So let's get into it. But before, if you don't know, I am NATASHA Bishop, professional makeup artist of over a decade, and I have a new video every single Sunday afternoon, Hong Kong time, but I think it's Sunday morning US time where most of you guys are from, so hello. And subscribe. I'd like you to subscribe if you can. Let's get into the video. So for the base makeup, I'm going to use the Charlotte Tilbury Hollywood Flawless Filter and a concealer from Natasha Denona. So I have shade 2.5 and shade 1. I don't know. I'm going to try 2.5, but maybe it's a little bit warm with my winter colouring. Yeah, maybe. Let's do a bit of both. These are not a foundation. These are a filter. A filter product, a blurring type, very light coverage, but add really beautiful glow to the skin in a very sophisticated way and not very glittery. Not glittery. I mean, they've been around for a long time. You probably have heard about them or even own one of them. So this is the Natasha Denona concealer. I have a nice friend here. And so I'm kind of doing a bit of a hybrid, not really doing foundation, but doing this glowy kind of slight, almost tinted moisturizer-esque thing. It's a really standalone type product. And then concealer where I need it, and we're kind of merge the two categories together, essentially. And for that, I'm going to use this Charlotte Tilbury Complexion brush. It's like a duo brush. And actually, I want to pre-blend the Hollywood Flawless Filter with my fingers. That's a real tip, because when you start to use brushes, they just eat up your product quickly. Letting the concealer under my eyes have a few more minutes to dry down is really game-changing. So this isn't giving me all that much coverage, but that's exactly what we want. We just want that little finish to the skin. It just gives a finish like there almost is, but there's not foundation. Tapping concealer around the nose. Let me put a little bit more on my friend there on my chin. Cheek, chin, I don't know what area you would call this. Just a little bit, and I really will let that dry down into quite a few steps. So this concealer from Natasha Denona, it is high coverage, but it is very liquidy, very, very liquidy. So you do need to have time to use it, in my opinion. It needs to take some time to dry down and get a little bit less liquidy. So I'm going to just tap that, pre-tap that in. But it's great coverage, but very thin and liquidy. Okay, and bringing what's on my brush across the eyelids, because I have quite veiny eyelids, very thin skin. And so you can see the veins quite easily. Kind of acting as a primer, as the base for the eyeshadow look today. For this makeup look that I have designed in my head, essentially, I've not actually done it. I went to Pinterest and I kind of was pulling some inspiration. And so I've made a board, and I'll link the board down below so you can see my inspirations. Okay, Now that we've like fluffed around with the concealer on the eyelid, the one underneath is a little bit more dried down or drying. So you can see so much better when I put a mirror close to my eyes. Just going to put a tiny bit more here and here. And this palette that I'm holding is a sneak peek of what I will be using coming up. So as you can see, we've just used 2 products for the base, no foundation, no heavy coverage, but we've got an more even complexion. And it's all about light layers, moving into more light layers from winter into going towards summer. More about skin finishes, seeing real skin and imperfections. Winter is a time where we can kind of go in a little bit more with that full glam aesthetic for a couple of reasons. One of the main reasons is your makeup lasts so much longer and stays on the skin, looking a lot more fresh in the winter. This is the Benefit Cosmetics brow, what's this one called? Precisely My Brow Wax in the shade 3. This is not going to give a super precise brow, just using this one product, but it is going to tint my brows and pick up any little blonde hairs that are tinted and just give them a bit more definition, but nothing like super sculpted. But that's exactly kind of what we want for today. And Benefit have the best colours in the game for brows, specifically for blondes. And I laminate and I tint my brows every now and then, so they are going to stay in place really well because I have the brow lamination still going. Brows are done. Okay, I'm going to just tap in that little area that we really wanted to conceal before I forget. Just pressing on top of it. And then later we will make sure we really set it with powder. Keep it covered longer. Such a really nice, radiant, glowy finish from that Charlotte Tilbury Flawless Filter. Honestly, they are just an absolute classic must-have product. Not cheap, and they really could improve the packaging. This one's not as bad, but this one, I don't know if you can see, the writing is completely off. And it's very irritating because you're doing your makeup and if you get your hands on it and then you end up with like red letters on your face from the packaging. I really feel like for the price of these that they should really somehow work out how to keep the writing stuck on the glass, but it is a beautiful product. And I know they do sell them in mini sizes as well. So for the eye look, I want it to be a super soft, pretty pink overall look everywhere actually. The reason being is that's spring screams like pink, softness, new life, happiness. And I know often we lead towards warm tones, warm oranges and corals, but I feel like we save that for a little bit more in the height of summer, in the like sunburnt, sun-kissed, which we do not get here on the channel. We use sun protection always, but the aesthetic I'm talking about is, I feel like pinks are a little bit more of the direction that I want to go to for spring feeling. Fresh blossoming, the first, opening of flowers and things, still a little bit cold and frosty, but, new life is coming. And I feel like this palette really does it easily and well with a lot of those elements involved in this palette. This is from Flores, and this is the Eastern Beast Sculpting Makeup Palette in the shade 2. It's an interesting name, but it is a beautiful palette and I have been using it for a few weeks now. I've used a few things from this brand a lot lately here on the channel. I don't know if you've noticed. They just sent me like loads of stuff and I've incorporated it into my routines. They are available on their website and on Amazon, and so I'll be leaving that link down below. And this is a Chinese brand actually, and the Chinese brands are really I feel like, growing in popularity, and these products are just stunning, beautiful, and that's what I'm using today. So I just want to bronze up my face. The bronzer in this is a little bit dark, so do be very careful and really self-blend it onto the brush first. Don't go straight into the bronzer and straight onto your face. It's not going to end up well. Really dust it around and blend it into the brush first, so then it comes onto your skin a lot lighter and slower, if that makes sense. So I'm going to just dust the outskirts of my face with this. The tip of my nose. Make sure I blend it really well. And a little bit just on the brow bone. I do like to, if I'm doing a very soft diffuse look, I do just like tap a little bit to knock back my brow bone. Very soft way to do it. You could use it more of an eyeshadow brush. Let's move on to the eyes. We are going to go in with these two pink colors on this face palette. It's a face palette. I've been using this so much as a beautiful blush. I've been using this. It looks really just white in the pan here. It actually kind of is, but it's got some type of pearlescence to it. And then this one here I've been hardly using because it is like full on intense pink highlight shimmer, like screaming at you, and that is just not my daily vibe. But I'm going to use it today as like a lid topper, a shiny topper for eyeshadow. That's an eyeshadow to me, that's not a highlighter. So yeah, I'm kind of using these as eyeshadows. This is blush and this is bronzer sometimes. Big fluffy brush, and we're going to go in with the pink blush and use that as a wash over your eyes. But this blush is quite pigmented, so keep that in mind. If you do use a blush, often blushes are less pigmented than eyeshadows. Obviously, you just little and build up is the best motto. What am I doing? Using this one so I can see it better. Dust this over the whole lid, in the crease, all over the eye, just to give the aesthetic of pink. Happy. Really no rhyme or reason. I just put it over the eye. That's it. Bring it up above the crease and the brow bone a little bit, but more on the moving part of the lid. Really diffusing it. And out of like continuity and making it look put together, I am going to put it on the lower lash line as well. So grabbing a smaller brush around the corner, as I like to say, just lightly. There we go. Just going to grab another fluffy brush and just go over everything and make sure it's all really smooth and diffused. Now I'm going to create just a very tiny bit of definition and flick on the outer part of my eye, just with the same palette. I like to keep it simple, minimal amount of products. This is the bronzer, but it's quite dark colored, so if you put it on kind of pigmenty, I'm going to use this brush here that is like a flat angled brush and just press it into the lash lines. You can actually see this quite in depth on a few tutorials back. It was called like shadow winged liner. Basically, I'm doing a little bit of that technique, a little bit more simple, but kind of the same thing. Using an eyeshadow to create a little, as opposed to a more sharp, intense black type of look that you may do in wintertime when you're going full glam. This is just adding definition and shape to the eyes, but without being so intense. Just blurring it out on the edge. Going again on the other side. Making sure it fades off into nothing. I don't want the liners and the wings to be a real focal point of the eye look. It's definitely not. Right, now for the sparkle part of the pink, which is this insane one over here. You know me, I love to apply shimmers and glitters with my fingers. So I'm going to rub that on here and press it on the center. This is very shimmery in the right lights. Wonder if these lights are showing that properly. This has yellow reflex, so gold glitter reflex, but also large particles of yellow, like gold, but then smaller particles of like a white shimmer. So it's a bit of a hybrid. And do that on the other side. Taking a brush and just making sure that all the edges are blurred on that shimmery glittery type topper. Very pretty and soft, glowy, happy, cheerful spring look. Mascara is needed, of course, still, and I'm still actually really liking this pink flash one that I got from Yes Style, from an Asian beauty brand. Let me know down below, have you actually shopped from Yes Style before? I would like to know, because there's just so many things to discover on there. This is like a tubing mascara, so it comes off really easily and it lasts pretty well at the moment. And it's also separating my lashes very well, giving a nice soft long look. Mascara is done. It solves everything, all the issues. Now I'm just going to pat in my concealer again. Make sure not too much creasing going on under there. And I really want to set the eyes now. So this is also from Florist, same brand, but this is the setting powder, the loose powder in the peach shade. You can see at the back there, it's peach. Really very innovative packaging to me. You twist it, which way? This way. Lift it up, you have the puff, and you open it up. And there is the powder underneath this like net cushion. So it doesn't kind of go everywhere. Your puff stays in. It's just genius to me. But I'm actually just going to use not the puff because I feel like this applies a little bit too much. And because we want to keep it quite glowy and not super, intensely matte coveraged makeup, I'm going to use a smaller brush. This is from Eco Tools. This is a brand that I love. Very affordable. And just pinpoint setting where I need. And with this peach shade, you actually get a little bit of a brightening effect to the skin. So it's always the center where you want it. And I like to mattify my nose, around the sides of my nose. Definitely need to mattify that spot that we concealed. A little bit along the chin and on the other side. There's also a mirror here too. There we go. And you keep the outsides of the face glowy and fresh and juicy from the Flawless Filter product. And then the center, where we want things to last, and also just along the tops of the cheekbones here, where I like to keep that quite, you know, powdery, because then I feel like my blushes blend a lot better on top of it. And if it's a really like dewy area, then everything doesn't blend nicely. And blush is going to be the eyeshadow color. Well, it's a blush, but we used it as eyeshadow. So I'm going to pick up some of this. Sometimes I even use the mirror to like kind of blend it, but you can use your hand as well. And dabbing that on. You notice I'm doing a patting motion to not disturb any of the light coverage that we did make. And doing the same on the other side. And I've just been I've been wearing this blush so much. I just think it's a really soft, pretty color. Now, if you were really like daring, you could be using this palette and you could use this as your highlighter on top of it. But for me, it's just a little bit too glittery. Maybe if you had even younger skin and didn't mind that kind of very glittery look on the skin, you could use that as a highlighter, but for me it's too much. But this one here I actually use on the inner corners of your eyes for a really brightening pop, so I'm going to do that, and then maybe I can use it on the cheeks. This is like that kind of, you know how Sabrina Carpenter always has that really bright inner corner? This creates that really well, this color. I'm loving it. Like, this would last so long. Can you see the difference between the two eyes? How this one has that really brightness now? It almost helps brighten the whole under eye area, opens up your eyes. I wouldn't say to do this if you have very wide set eyes. If your eyes are already like your eyes shape on your face are quite wide already, because this is going to enhance that. But if you have very narrow eyes, this is a really great idea to do to help open and broaden up the appearance of your eyes, if that makes sense. So I'm going to do that on the other side. But don't go overboard. I have gone overboard before. That just giving you that space, that like pretty openness to the eyes. And you can always like tap it if it looks like it's too much. Would this look good on the cheeks as like a little glow? I think it adds something. Takes away the pinkiness actually, and then does have a glow to it, but definitely a very different glow to the other highlighter. If you were one to like to highlight the tip of your nose, you could definitely do that. For me, I feel like it accentuates my nose I'm not a fan of. So I prefer to do bronzer on my nose to try to minimize the look of my nose. Now for the lips time, the other pink aspect, the other summery glow that we create. Of course, this is me, lip liner and lip gloss. Really classic products that I just can't get enough of. The whole lip liner, lip gloss, it's not lost on me yet. I don't know when. The other day I actually did a matte lip, like a liquid lipstick, a matte one. I just like pulled something different out of my lip drawer. Actually, you know what it was? It was a really early bridal client that I had to do. I had to do a really early job. And I couldn't be bothered with like lots of nice little details on my eyes. Everything is very subtle, but it still like adds to the overall look of looking more put together. And I was just like, oh, I think I was wearing contact lenses as well. So when I don't wear my glasses, I feel like I need to wear a little bit more makeup around my eyes to give them definition, or they get a bit lost looking. I don't know, and I just was like, I'm just going to put on like a bold matte liquid lipstick. And I did. I wore it for the day. It was like a rust color, but I love what lip gloss does to the lips. So this is the Anastasia Beverly Hills lip liner in the shade Dusty Rose. I just felt like it's perfect for this look. It's not a warm, tight. I'm not going to go with a pink lip liner. definitely still want like depth to the lips. My lips are so dry. Okay, we're going to put lip gloss over it, and it kind of disguises it, but this gives us a nice like base to the lips and the look. And then the lip glosses of all lip glosses, where it all started of the lip gloss craze, I would say, in this era of time, is the Fenty Beauty lip gloss. This is in the shade Fussy and is just a beautiful, pretty pink, perfectly pink and pretty, and it has like a little glimmer and sheen to it with glitter. So we'll put this on. There is the lip gloss. It's just the best, one of the best lip glosses there is around. I love this one. Everything will be linked down below as well, so don't forget that. We are done. This is the look. This is my spring summer makeup look. I hope you liked that look. You can have a look at my mood board. It's somewhat the same with my own twist. You know what? I really love that blush with that highlighter. Today is the first time I did that on camera with you guys, using this one on the top of the cheeks here. Putting highlighter here is very much more of a Sabrina Carpenter area where she puts highlighter here as well. You will see on her posts and things, less more like that stripe and line up there, which is a little bit, I don't know, just being done a lot. Here is very pretty and youthful. So nice. That is the look. I hope you enjoyed that. Any questions, please leave them down below. I really love chatting with you guys. I see like the same people all the time sometimes, and it's really nice. Those are some things to think about for your like moving out of winter kind of era and like heavy, perfected, glam makeup look. It's mostly about like skin. Starting to make skin a little bit lighter, a little bit more dewiness and youthfulness on the texture. I mean, that will happen whether you like it or not with the weather and the temperature like rising. You will get that kind of dewiness to the skin. Then maybe moving away from some like stronger, darker browns and darker shadow colors and adding a little bit of softness to it. This is like pinks. I'm sure I will do another look coming up that is a bit more warm tone golds. Yeah, those like peachy colors. Definitely I can create some of those looks if you would like. Leave a comment down below if you would like that. I'd love to know. But that's it for today. Thank you for watching once again. If you've got this far, consider subscribing to the channel. I would really love that. It just is like encouraging to see more people like enjoying the videos that I put a lot of time and effort into creating. And comment, thumbs up, all that stuff. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.